Hi everyone, welcome to Make It Monday. It's Melissa Phillips here today, and we're going to make an autumn card made with the leaf print stamp set and dies and the Hands of Time, and also Autumn Abundance for our sentiment. I thought it would be fun to use the leaf print stamps and dies to make a wreath out of just 4 simple leaves. So we will get started. To begin with, I used vintage cream cardstock that is cut 3 3/4 by 11, and then I folded it in half. And then I've used vellum, and I've just cut it slightly smaller than the vintage cream. And we will start with the vellum and the Hands of Time stamp set. I'm going to emboss my Hands of Time clock image with some gold embossing powder. So we are just going to use watermark ink and stamp a portion of the clock in the upper left-hand corner. And then we'll go coat it with our gold embossing powder, and I'll show you what happens next. Here is our vellum layer that's all embossed and sparkly with our gold embossing powder. So next thing we'll do is die cut 4 leaves using the leaf print dies. Use any that you'd like. I used a mixture of each shape, and then choose your colors. I think it's kind of fun to mix up autumn colors here. I've got Pure Poppy, I've got Limeade Ice, Orange Zest, Terracotta Tile would work great there as well, and this is Autumn Rose. So think about adding in pinks and things to your autumn leaves and light colors of greens just to brighten it up and see how they complement one another. So the next step will be to stamp our leaves. So I've stamped my leaves. I've done Autumn Rose and Limeade Ice. This one I tried Terracotta Tile instead of Orange Zest. And this is just Pure Poppy. And the next thing I'll do is to stamp the stems and the veins and the leaves using dark chocolate ink. Now that my leaves are completely stamped, I'm just going to age and dirty up the edges a little bit with some Distress ink from Paper Tray. This is the lighter of the duo. That'll just help them stand out from the background maybe a little bit more. Okay, and then on my original card I used some glitter over the top of the stamped images. So I'm going to spray each of my leaves with spray adhesive and then coat with just some fine glitter. The Prisma from Paper Tray works wonderfully well, so that's what I will use. Glittering is done, so now we are just going to arrange our leaves right here in the center of our clock. And just kind of have to fiddle with them a little bit as you layer them. We want the clock to show from underneath, so we don't want to cover it up entirely. I would probably offset my leaves that are the same size so that they're kind of opposite one another. And while your glue is still wet, just continue to fiddle around with where you want these leaves to be placed. So much fun. Okay, next step, I've tied medium-sized canyon clay button. It's just going to go in the center of our wreath, and then I've cut 2 hands, the clock face hands from the Hands of Time collection, and they were cut out of Smoky Shadow to help them kind of stand out a bit, and I'm just going to adhere them underneath some of these layers, and I won't adhere them all the way down because I want them to still stand out and add some dimension. Okay, so on the original card you'll notice that underneath the vellum layer I stamped some more of the smaller autumn leaves, just in areas where they might show through the vellum. So on my card base, I've used orange zest and limeade ice. I found that the darker your ink, for some reason, it's actually becomes darker when you add the vellum over the top. It's almost accentuated. So the lighter the color, the better when you're stamping underneath the vellum. So then what we'll do is just adhere that right over the top, and then we'll be ready for our sentiment. Okay, once again, my sentiment comes from the Autumn Abundance stamp set, and I'm using dark chocolate ink, and I'm just going to stamp one end of the double-ended banners die that was cut using vintage cream. And then, there we go, I will position it right where I want it across the bottom of this card, and I'll trim off the end, and I will top it with another coordinating button, one of the Canyon clay. So just need a little bit of my glue. Tack that down. And find my scissors here in my mess. I will just snip off that excess coming off the edge there. Okay, and then just a little bit more glue. And we are set. Let that dry a little bit. As your glue dries, you can kind of lightly bend your leaves upwards to add more dimension. Just make it nice and full. Just a fun card to celebrate this time of year, the one that I love so much. Thanks so much for stopping by, and can't wait to see what you come up with. See you soon.